All right, Fresh, so let's head out to the Pac-12. USC traveling to Colorado. Right now, USC is a 21.5-point favorite. Over-under set at 73.5 points. Again, the bloom is off the rose here for Colorado. I think that they're coming back down to earth. But let's also keep this in mind. Everyone's like, they're overrated. Colorado was a one-win football team last year. They've won 3. They've tripled their win total already this year. This year is a raging success for Colorado. Guys, do not start knocking someone just because you don't like them. They're building. Coach Prime still needs to get more of his players into that program. This will be a good football team and very competitive football team for a couple years to come. Fresh, I got to ask you, I went back and I actually watched the All-22 aerial view of the Colorado-Oregon game this past week. I saw some things, but I'll let you go with your insight first.
Well, first off, to hang on your point there, what Deion has brought to college football, what he brought to Colorado, is awesome. And people need to understand that. The excitement, the energy, the swagger, the confidence. He does not care about you. He is there to develop his team, develop the men, and to win football games in time. And if that requires having receipts or seeing somebody talking trash, he's going to call you out on it. He's going to get his team to fire it up. Because you know what? In every locker room across the country, high school up through, Division III, NAI, wherever, the head coach is talking trash in that locker room to fire the team up. It's called a pregame speech for a reason, folks. Just because certain things are leaked, with people having microphones or cameras in the background, doesn't make them one more popular, one more, egregious. It's all the same. Everybody's been doing it. So Deion's done it. They went out and they backed it up. Then this past week versus Colorado, there was some chitter and there's some chatter. Colorado went out and they put an end to it. They took it personal, just like Colorado taking it personal from other people. Why is this a big deal? Because it's the other way around. It's not. It's the same thing, folks. Deion was doing the same thing. Dan Lanning did the same thing. We all love it. I love Ryan Day at the end of it going after Lou Holtz after the Notre Dame game. This is what we want in this game. People are too scared to admit it, that there's been trash talk going on in the trenches and in the locker rooms and behind the scenes off camera forever. Deal with it, folks. Now because you're actually getting it caught on camera and people are dropping videos and putting stuff out there and it's now becoming public eye, you're like, oh my God, this has been happening. This is horrible. No, this has been reality, folks. People have been chirping forever. Sometimes, hey, I applaud Oregon for putting out the video, the Colorado players chirping and standing on the logo, and then Colorado come out and taking care of business. I applaud Oregon. I applaud Colorado the previous 3 weeks. When they go out there and people start talking trash, they go out there and take care of business. Let it happen. It's fun. It's great. Spurrier did it in the 90s. Everybody looked at him as an evil villain, but you know what? They kind of loved it at the same time. Enjoy it, folks. It's making the game better. It's bringing attention to everybody. That's the whole point. Eyes are on the product and people are paying attention. Enjoy it, love it, embrace it, because it's only going to become more and more. It's going to hit the NFL. It's going to be everywhere. It's just the way of the future. And with that said, this game on Saturday is not going to be any different than what it was up in Eugene. USC is going to come in and whoop Colorado again. And that's not because Colorado is terrible. It's because they don't have the depth yet. Shiloh Sanders probably not going to play. Travis Hunter out again this week. So your defense is already limited. They were already limited in the trenches. They were getting run on all day long, every single week. It's not going to get any better. USC is going to run for about 200 plus all over the place on Colorado. They don't have the line. They don't have the offensive lineman or defensive lineman to sustain in big matchups against premier teams. That just shows you also how bad Nebraska was, because Nebraska got destroyed in the second half. That shows you how TCU had some development in week 1. They had to be ready for the energy, and they weren't ready there. Things happen. You get accustomed. Right now, Colorado's going through the point of they don't have the depth in those 2 line of scrimmage elements to sustain. And once they start recruiting there, they'll be better, but they're not right there right now. If they lose this, they're 3-2, and they get to go to Arizona State next week, have a chance to hit the over on their win total projected for the year, and everything will be great. Let it happen, folks. It's going to happen. One benefit, though, that Colorado does have in this ballgame, which actually might result in a slower start. Keep in mind for the over-under, by the way. USC has had a start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and a 2 after 10. Late kickoffs. This game, kicking off at 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Mountain, noon Eastern. This is a rise and shine game for USC. Are their players ready to get going? Are they ready to go? Are they lit from the openings day, from having breakfast at whatever, early morning time. This is an early start for them to get ready to fire up and play football. Are they prepared to turn it on early? Will they be sluggish in the first half and then halftime maybe get it going? That's what I'm also going to see, and that's an advantage for Colorado. Can you jump on them early? You've already gone through a couple early starts. You guys are accustomed to getting up and getting after it. How does USC be able to turn it on earlier in the day instead of waiting till middle afternoon or the evening and having that entire day to sort of wake up and get ready, go through the routine? This is a big thing. You have a chance right there. Use it to your advantage. It's also sea level to the Rocky Mountains. Elevation difference is going to be also a big factor. Is USC conditioned enough to play a full football game? You guys have been practicing it for a while. Use these to your advantage. Use everything you have. That's the whole point of playing at home and at your own kickoff times. Use all the different elements to help you out. Shedeur Sanders, how do you turn it on in this game? Obviously the offense struggled last week. You didn't throw any touchdowns. You had less than 200 yards passing. How do you do it now? How do you show and develop as a quarterback? I had a down game. How do I turn myself back around and recover and learn and grow? That's what I think everyone else is also looking at. That's what I'm looking at. How do you grow after a clunker? You didn't have many clunkers at Jackson State. So you don't have to go through that, learning point of, all right, this is what I did wrong. This is how I have to get better. This is a great opportunity for you to learn and develop. It's not just going to be for this game, but for your career. You're going to have bad outings. And you have to be able to next game come out there, shake it off, and get better. So I'm really anxious to see how he does that and how this entire offense does. Because now you saw, everyone's been praising you guys. You've been doing great. You've seen yourself looking great on film. You have a bad film this past week. Where do you guys accept the coaching from the coaches? Because you have a great coaching staff, develop and improve. This is what I think Deion's also looking for. He's developing men. He's developing the Bobby Bowden mentality, the Mickey Andrews mentality there at Florida State. It's going to be hard-nosed. It's going to be tough. There's going to be some lessons to be learned. He called out the five-star corner this past week for not showing up on time to meetings and sometimes not showing up at all, not looking at all the film he should be looking at. He's going to call you out because right now it's about winning. It's about developing men. If you're not showing up on time, you're not going to get playing time. And you're not going to be able to go to the league. How do you do this for your team? How do you do this for yourself? Colorado as a program. This is actually a pretty good teaching moment. It's better to happen this early in the season because then you have a chance where, you have another 7 or 6 games to really get yourself understood. We were down. Now we can get better. If this happened at the last game of the year, it'd be terrible because you'd be gutted and no one really know how you would instantly recover the week after. So here is a big opportunity for Colorado to show improvement. Do I expect you guys to win? No. Do I expect you to play much better than last week? Yes. I think that's something we all should look forward to. How does this coaching staff and these players respond from adversity and get better? Because Caleb Williams and that USA team, they have a chance now to make a national spotlight. They haven't played anybody. They haven't had the lights on technically from a viewing perspective all year. This is their chance to make a national showcase for themselves and also put Caleb back in the Heisman category because we haven't talked about them. They've been off hidden, doing what they have to do, just quietly getting through it. Now they have a chance to showcase themselves at noon on Fox with everybody watching the game. USC will cover the 22. Now the over-under, when I was doing my prep, was 73.5. It might have changed. Take the under, folks. This is not the Dolphins playing the Broncos. One team is not going to score 70 points. And if they do, that's terrible for the teams in Colorado having 70 scored on back-to-back weeks. This will be an under. I don't think Colorado scores enough. I don't think USC puts up 50-plus on them. But it'll be an exciting game. But USC will take care of business.
Brush, I told you that I watched the all 22 this past week in that Colorado-Oregon game. I wanted to see what Oregon was doing, and I want to see if USC could replicate that. First and foremost, guys, we got to talk about this. Caleb Williams has been absolutely fantastic. 15 touchdowns on the year, 0 interceptions, completing 74% of his passes. But this is going to be a big game for Austin Jones and Marshawn Lloyd. Both of them, what I watched when I put on the game tape there, is that Oregon basically ran out the same formation the entire game. They ran 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back every single play out there. That was the personnel they used almost every single time I watched. The difference that came in is what side of the field did they put the 2 wide receivers to 1 receiver, or did they do trips? Where they put the tight end, what side they put the running back on. On run plays, though, you saw a very common theme. The tight end was pulling into the middle of the offensive line and picking up either a linebacker trying to come through or picking up one of the defensive tackles and so forth. Oregon would then get a nice little push. And at this point, the holes that were being opened, if you went back and watched that, Fresh and I could pick up 3 or 4 yards in those holes. And the Oregon running backs were picking up 9, 10, 15 yards in some of these runs here. That's clearly on the tape. Now, Fresh, I'm no expert. I know my football, but I'm no expert. I'm not the perfect X's and O's guy out there. But if I can sit there and watch this game tape and recognize that in a heartbeat, USC is seeing the exact same thing. And until Colorado says I'm going to stop you from doing that. This is why I think it's a big game for the two running backs. I know, Lincoln Riley is going to try to showcase Caleb Williams. He's going to try to make sure that he's in the conversation for a second Heisman. I get that. But at the end of the day, stats are stats, but we need the W no matter what here. If we're going to do that, I'm running the same game plan as Oregon. I'm doing the same thing. I'm running it up the gut. I'm running it right down the middle of that defense until you can stop me. Colorado was running a too high safety look for majority of the time. That what would happen is as they start run, then they'd start bringing one of the safeties up into the box, leaving out our friend Clifford Franklin out there in Oregon in one-on-one coverage. And that's when Bo Nix would take advantage of those. Not having Travis Hunter and Troy Franklin matching up against not Travis Hunter, Troy Franklin's going to probably win that matchup most of the time. Same thing is going to happen here at USC. You got it. That front seven has got to lock down. They have to lock down that line of scrimmage. If they don't, USC is just going to run all up on them. And then when they bring the safety in, Caleb Williams is going to hit a big play. That's the long and the short of this. While I'm saying it's that easy for USC, it's that easy for Colorado to fix this whole issue. The question becomes, are you able to do it and you don't do it, or are you not able to do it and it's just something someone can take advantage of you? I would like to think that because these are D1 athletes here, that they do have more talent. This is a time where if I'm the defensive line coach for Colorado, I'm saying you got your lunch served to you there last weekend. You got absolutely demolished at the point of attack all day long and got pushed around by tight ends. Not pushed around by a pulling guard, not pushed around by an offensive tackle or center. You got pushed around by a tight end. Come on here, guys. Where are you at for this one? Marshawn Lloyd, I think, is going to go off in this game. I'm going to say he probably is going to, if they give him enough carries, and again, that might be the question because I still think they're going to split carries between him and Austin Jones. If Marshawn Lloyd gets enough carries, he's going for $150, and I wouldn't be shocked if he picks up 2 scores. That 21.5 is a large number for me. I'm going to go with it, though. I'll go USC and the points there. I think they're going to look – I think they're taking kind of receipts as well. And Lincoln Riley sees what it did for Oregon stock. And I think Oregon benefited from beating the bejesus out of Colorado. I think Lincoln Riley's not a dumb person. I think he's seeing the same thing going, man, if I go boat race Colorado in their home stadium, I might get a little bit of benefit, and I can see USC using that to springboard themselves up the ranking. I'm going to take the over in the 73 points. USC's defense is not as good. They're not as good as Oregon's defense. They're better. Still a concern for me. They're better than they were last year. They have 16 sacks on the year, but they aren't forcing as many turnovers as the year previously. And right now, the over has come in for USC 3 times on the year already. So I'm taking the over again here in this game.
It's another fun one, but it also begs the question, is this the last Fox game or prime broadcast game that we get from ABC or from Fox for Colorado this season?
I think they have one more at least on the schedule already.
I mean, I got a feeling they're probably going to get a couple more because Prime's going to draw in, but they might hesitate. The viewership numbers are too high for them not to want to do it.